Hey everyone, it's Ashley, your independent Scentsy consultant, and today I'm doing kind of a random video that might seem a little random. I already said random. Scentsy training-esque, but Ilza specifically asked me to make a video about how I make samples, so I was gonna make some samples today, so I figured I'd share it with you guys. But yeah, so if this really doesn't interest you, sorry, but making samples is like one of my favorite things about being a Scentsy consultant. I would literally watch people make samples before I was a consultant, and that's when I kind of knew like, okay, I'm watching people make samples like because I was like, I want to do that. But I had no reason to because I was a consumer. So once I finally was like, okay, I need to join, make a commission, and now I can make my samples, like those are the two things that I'm just like, pay back on my purchases and make samples, I'm content. So I'm gonna share with you making some samples today. I have a couple different ways to talk about, but two specifically I'm going to like show you. It's all what you make it. Like, this business is literally as difficult as you want to make it or as easy as you want to make it, and I do what's simplest for me. So if I want to do some real elaborate stuff some days, I whip out the real elaborate stuff. If I'm like, okay, I'm just want to get this and move on, I just do what's easiest. And I'm just going to show you some different things because it's not one size fits all. It's anything you want to make it. So I have a warmer here because we are going to be doing some felt samples, and I just use a warmer because, first of all, I love this warmer, Night Sky. It's kind of bright, so sorry, but I literally just brought it down from upstairs and plugged it right here on my kitchen countertop. And then we are going to do some chopping, so I did bring my specific wax cutting board. So I'm going to break up this bar. I'm not going to tell you what it is because it is going to be in this month's Happy Mail, and Ilza requested this video, so Ilza, if you're getting Happy Mail, I don't want you to know. I mean, you are getting Happy Mail. You are on the list, but I'm just saying I don't want you to know what you're getting, you and others. So I'm just gonna lay down some paper towel over my cutting board and then move this over so I can break it apart. I feel like I'm being a little bit sneaky because it's red. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna break off the bottom 3 cubes, and I'm actually gonna put that into the warmer. Before I do that, I am gonna take one paper towel and just wipe out the warmer just in case of any, you know, you never know. I turned it on just to warm it up a little bit. Giving it a real good wipe out there. Yeah, I don't know, there wasn't really anything in there, but just like to be safe. And then I find if I like break them up, I never put 3 cubes in a warmer, but specifically because I'm going to be taking it out like with the felt, I feel like that's okay. So we're gonna let that warm while I chop this. Hopefully that doesn't take too long. I didn't really think about that, but we'll come back to that maybe once I'm done chopping this, and we could even bag it too. So I'm gonna break all these apart, the rest of these. Basically what I'm doing today though is just gonna be doing felt, which is in the warmer. You can do that heating it up anyway. Like, I don't know, I don't like to do them in the microwave because people say that's bad. Like if you're in like sample making wax groups and stuff for Scentsy, they're like, they don't recommend doing it in the microwave. So I typically do it in here. Some people do like a double boiler option on the stove. There's just like different ways, but I already have warmers, so I just find this is easy. Plus this Night Sky warmer heats up like very, very fast. It's a really good performer. I love that warmer. So I like to do that, but literally the easiest way to do samples, if you're like, I don't want to get out a warmer, I don't want to get felt out, I don't want to do anything, I just want the easiest way, like say sample making is not your favorite thing, something I like to do and I find is just super simple is I break the bar apart, and I just bought this like cutter somewhere. I think these are called like vegetable slicers or something, and I literally just like slice the cube. So like you can make them thin, you can make them thick. And then, but I like the crinkle because then they have a little crinkle in them. but you can make them as thin or as thick as you want. The softer they are, the thinner they get. Like you can make them. The harder the wax, the thicker they are. So like this one's really skinny at the butt, but like really thick at the base. Typically for this type of sample, it's a thicker amount. So this is what goes into my package mail. Like if you get a package from me, this is probably what you're receiving, just because it's thicker. Like typically you can't put this in an envelope, you'd have to pay more money, and so I just keep it. This one broke a little bit, but he's still okay. I typically just keep this to my bigger packages, since I'm already going to be sending them with like tracking anyway, and like as a I'm spending more money on them anyway, so I feel like including this isn't costing me anymore. But really in the end, I just like to send these out because it gets the scent in front of people's noses, because especially with Scentsy, it's not like a store that you can just walk into and smell the scents. So the more that I can get into my customers' hands, the more they know what things smell like, and so they can make more informed purchases, I guess. They don't have to just take a guess at what they're purchasing. So that's kind of the point of this. The point for me isn't to like go crazy and send all this wax to people. This one I'm literally just gonna chop down the center. It's the same amount of wax. Like, sometimes, like, is this look the prettiest? No. But like I said, it's all about the scent. For my scent of the month bars, because I have access to more bars at one time with my kit that comes, and because most of my customers are not local to me, so it's not like I'm getting rid of the bars I have on hand as much, those ones I like to go a little bit crazier on. I like to do the mold. So if you've gotten wax samples from me in the shape of like something specific, that is what I like to do with those, just because, like I said, I have access to more bars. It's a little bit easier. So all you do with that, if you want to do a mold, you just heat up the wax like we're heating it up here. They make like those little pots that you melt chocolate in. You can melt it however. If you have a spout, it's easier than having not a spout, because you literally just heat up the wax and then you pour it into the mold. And then I like to pop it into the fridge for like 2 to 5 minutes, just however, depending how like thick it is or whatever. And it makes it a little bit colder so it pops out easier so it doesn't break as much. But even if it breaks, like, it's okay. But I like to do that, those ones, because they're just a little bit cuter. So then now all these are chopped, and this is quite a few, so I'm pretty happy about this. And then I'll just put them into these little baggies. And obviously, like, these are just little Ziploc baggies. I bought them in a pack of 1,000 on Amazon. Totally would recommend. You can get them at like the, I don't know about the dollar store, but like for sure Walmart in the jewelry section, Michael's in the jewelry section. But they're just little plastic bags. I find, like, I think these are 2 by 3, like they're pretty small. They do the best for wax versus having like a really big bag and then a small like sample in there. Like, I feel like that's dumb if this was like so wide and then it's just a small wax sample. What else was I gonna say about these though? Oh gosh, I literally lost my train of thought. What I was gonna say about these. But I just literally, oh, yes. Okay, these are plastic. So these aren't like a polypropylene bag, like something you're gonna keep your wax in long term. But I know I'm gonna send these out to my customers in the mail. And like, they're gonna open the package and smell it. So like, this isn't something you're gonna keep like this for a year. Because the plastic, like storing wax in a plastic bag is not ideal. But since I know I'm just gonna send these right away to my customers, this is how I send them out. Like, buying small polypropylene bags just not to send samples out to your customers would not be cost efficient. And if they like take this out and use it right away, which it's a sample, like I would think they would smell it right away when it comes in the mail. They wouldn't just, you know what I mean? Set it to the side forever. I hope not, at least. That's why I'm not as concerned that it's in a plastic bag. I guess if you're receiving my mail and you're setting it to the side for a year, this is your notice to use it right away or to smell it right away. The nice thing about these is they can pop it in their warmer and get a little bit of scent out of it. You can do that with a felt sample, but it's obviously not as much wax. So that's why I do enjoy doing these if I'm sending a bigger package anyway. But regardless, it's nice to smell things. Even if it's only a felt sample, it's nice to smell it. And typically, your mailbox smells when you open your mailbox, which no complaints about that. That's melting pretty good. I don't know if you can tell that. So probably by the end of bagging this, we could work on some of those, which will be great. This made a lot more than I was expecting, which is nice. I should have thought of more topics, I guess. So yes, I just bagged these, and you can like print off little labels if you want. The scent of the month, I just use the stickers that come in the kit because it's so easy to just stick the stickers on. But typically I'll just like write little, this one, since I have more, maybe I will print because it kind of just depends what I have. Like if I don't think it's worth using up a full sheet of prints for one thing, then sometimes I won't, but sometimes I'll just handwrite it, whatever's easiest for you. And I mean, if I'm getting like really cheap, I'll use the really small labels. The 8195 labels, you can get the discounted ones at Office Depot. They fit perfectly across here, and if I print them, I'll just print 2 to 1 label and cut it in half, because like the rest of it's just white space anyway. But that works really, really well. Otherwise, I'll typically just like write them on a 5160 label and then just write a bunch and then cut them all apart and label them that way. I don't think the prettiness of a sample is what matters here. Like, the smell matters, in my opinion. If I got a sample in the mail, I wouldn't be like, wow, she didn't print the label, she hand wrote it. Like, that's what's going through my head. I'm like, what does that new smell like? And I like to try to do my happy mail to get it out to you guys before the 1st of the month, so that when the new scent of the month comes out in the flyer, you get that at least before the 1st when it launches, so you can know. Like sometimes, like when I not when I joined, maybe a little bit before, when I just started purchasing Scentsy, scent of the months and warmer of the months would go like bananas. Like they would go so fast. Even the like succulent warmer that's available now, it used to be not in the catalog. It was just a warmer of the month in May, I think. And it went in like an hour in the middle of the night. I was like, holy moly. That one was wild. Okay, we're getting pretty close and we are looking real good over here. I need to go get some tinfoil because I neglected to get some tinfoil. So hopefully that won't be too loud. And in the end, I mean, if you don't end up giving these all out, like say these were the scent of the month and the scent of the month, I don't know, because really the scent of the month, like you can get in Scentsy Club, even if it's sold out on the first day, they could still get it in Scentsy Club the rest of the month. So like I would keep handing these out. Say though, like the catalog changed or something crazy and you just had all these and you forgot about them, you can always pop them back into your warmer. And even if they're retired, you could still send them to people. I find people enjoy getting free stuff no matter what. I mean, who doesn't like free stuff, right? Okay, I'm gonna dump this off because I am gonna do more scents later, but I'll only show you this one. But I am going to move this out of the way so that I can get my tinfoil and get that going. Hopefully this tinfoil isn't too loud in your ears. I do apologize. I should have kept this. Sorry. Okay. So what you can do here, let me just show you what we have working, or what we have going, what we're working with. So the cubes aren't like all the way melted, but can you tell? We got some juice. So I'm just going to keep that going. But what I am gonna do, oh, let me share my felt with you. So basically the whole point of felt samples is you need felt. If you are a consultant, in your starter kit, there are felt shapes included in there, so it makes it really simple. All I did was I went to Walmart and I bought like a big, it was massive. I mean, it was maybe like 4x4, 5x5, something like that, like a giant sheet of felt. And it was like no money. Like, it was so cheap. And I just cut it in these little squares. And then I just put it in this big Ziploc bag so that I could always pull from it and use these felt samples. So I love this. I mean, you can buy like felt squares that are like a foot, I think, a square foot at Walmart. I like to get white. You can get colors, but I like to get white just because I think it shows the true color. The only crappy part about felt samples, if they are white and you do a white bar of wax, you can't, like coconut lemongrass, even like vanilla bean buttercream, you can tell there's a color on it, but it's like kind of hard. So I'm gonna get this a little bit closer here. Oops, sorry. And this will work great because it's red. So a couple things you can do, you could literally just like drop the felt in there and let it soak up and get a tweezer and get it out. But I just have my fingers today. I don't have any tweezers. So we're going to get as close to the edge as possible without totally dipping our fingers in the wax. The bigger the dish you have, like say you had the diamond milk glass warmer, I have wax warming in that right now. So we're using this one, but that has a really wide dish. So that would work really well. But all we're literally gonna do is just dip this into the scent or whatever, the wax, and it's gonna drip a little bit. Like, you don't wanna drip it on the side of the warmer. I'll just let it drip a little and then place it onto the tinfoil, and it actually will harden pretty fast. So you could obviously do this, you know, however you wanted. If you only, I have seen, let me take this out. I do believe Jennifer Anderson has a video where it's like completely melted, but she just like lines up a bunch and like dips them all in together. I've never done it, but let's try it. I mean, she probably did like 10. I only have 3 because I've never done that before. But this is like the probably powerhouse fast way to get these done. I enjoy it, so I don't care if it takes more time. Oh yeah, wow, look at that. But the nice thing about these is look how skinny they are. Okay, don't drip. Also, if they have a little extra, like they're dripping, and you lay it down next to it, like you lay it down and it has little extra, when you peel it off, it's gonna keep that extra on there. So, and some people like double dip theirs. That seems like a little bit crazy to me, but you still definitely get the fragrance from it. Like, I keep all these in a pencil holder, like you'd use when you're in elementary school, like a pencil case, but it's like a big holder for them. I got it at Walmart in the craft section. But it has like individual, it has maybe like 14 slots of where you put pencils in, and I keep each one has a scent, and like you open each one and you can totally smell the scent. So I love that. I keep my like the ones I send out all the time to like my new customers, like Luna, Black Raspberry Vanilla, like our best selling scents kind of. I'm doing too much chatting and not enough not enough sample making. Obviously this would be easier if you had tweezers, but the last couple times I've not even brought my tweezers because I was just like, you know, you're like not thinking about it. And this one I'm like, oh crap, now I started a video, so. So let me show you. It's still like melting as we go. We're just using the melted wax as we go. But basically, I'm gonna use all of this and make these samples until the wax is gone. I don't know. I feel like if I do that while this video is still going, it could be like a half hour long. I mean, it's already 20 minutes. But I'm just gonna use these completely up with the felts, and just place them all right here. And then literally if you're like waiting for it to melt a little bit more, you could start bagging these felts. Like, see how fast that dried? This was the first one I did. But look how thin it is. You could put that in an envelope and like send it with a regular stamp most likely. So it's like not a problem. I like versus like this. It's just a little bit thicker and it's like bumpy. That's not against, or that is against the mailing rules. But yeah, I'll basically just soak up all this wax with the felt until all the cubes are melted and like all the wax is gone out of this warmer. And then I'll just use that paper towel again and wipe it up. And I'm actually gonna do this bar, which I'm not gonna show you, and then I have one more too. So I'm gonna do that to make up this Happy Meal. And this is more than I normally make, but the last couple times I've ran out of felt samples to put in people's orders, and then I'm kind of bummed out. So I'm just kind of doing a little bit extra this time so I can really spread the love, because fall is the season for you guys for scent. Favorite season of mine. So Elsa, I hope this helped explain a little bit to you. There's probably so many other methods, but this is generally the felt, the chopped, and then the molds are generally all you'll see from me. And then obviously like the rub and smell stickers are not really making samples, they're provided for you. But those you just rub and they smell. They're like the easiest way out. They're like the easiest way to do this, but I love doing this. So I hope that answered any questions you have, or if you do have more questions, let me know. I'm sure there's tons of other people who do this differently who might be offended by the way I do this, but this is what makes me happy as a consultant. And so that's what I like to do, and that's why I keep doing it. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, or if you want to check out the scent, even though I didn't tell you what it was, if you want to check out this warmer or any Scentsy products, I will leave my link down below, as well as my email in case you want to ask me any questions. Thanks so much. I'll see you next time.